What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledPeople. This story's called Karen Demands I Let Her Use Our Break Room and Give Her Free Food When I Ask Her to Leave the Restaurant. Here's some backstory. I work at a Chick-fil-A and had recently gotten promoted to team leader or manager at the time this happened. Here's the cast. There's me, Jack, okay. Entitled person, Ben. I was in helping bag food because we were very busy and understaffed when I noticed a lady walk in with two laptops and a briefcase. She walked directly to the dining room, which was strange because we have it laid out so you must walk past where you ordered to get there. I didn't think much of it and kept working. An hour and a half later, Ben, who had been working dining room, walked up to me. Hey, Jack, I've been receiving complaints about a lady in the dining room. About what? She's been telling people to shut up, and she's taken the largest table in the dining room for what seems like a business meeting. Let me go talk to her. I walk over to the table and there she is. She had two laptops, one with a Zoom meeting and another with a spreadsheet. She has papers covering the table. Excuse me, ma'am? Talking to people in Zoom. Give me 1 second. She mutes the mic. What do you want? I'm in a meeting if you can't tell. We've been receiving complaints that you've been telling other customers to shut up. Is this true? Yes, they were talking even though I'm obviously in a meeting. Well, this is a restaurant, ma'am, and I can't have you talking to other customers that way. Could you please leave them alone? No! This is very important and I need them to be quiet. Well, then, ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. No, I noticed that the playroom is empty. Why don't I just go there? I'm sorry, ma'am, but we're using that as a break room. I don't care. I'm going in there. Go get me some food as well because you have been treating me terribly. I was getting fed up at this point. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave again. No! I'm going to the playroom and you are gonna give me free food. If you don't leave, I'm gonna contact the authorities. What are they gonna do? Arrest me? I didn't do anything wrong. At this point, I was done, so I just walked away and called the police and told them what happened. They came and took care of it. This was my first entitled person story I've been unfortunate enough to experience. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, how do you talk to Chick-fil-A employees like that, man? They're so nice. Besides, don't you go bringing bad vibes to Chick-fil-A, all right? That's not nice. They've already got a lot going in terms of bad vibes. But I'll be damned if their food and service aren't exceptional. Whew. This story's called Karen Tries to Get My Pet Duck Put Down. That was fun to read. Sad though, really sad. I don't know if this belongs here, but here is some background. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood in a townhome. There is an overflow nearby my house that is about 30 seconds away from my house. My neighbor from across the street has pet ducks that she had kept in her garage until they could live without needing the heat lamp. The day she let the little ducks out to the overflow, they walked straight to my front door and stayed until I followed them to the little overflow pond. This was when I fell in love with them. Their names are Walden and Delilah. Walden is a super social duck, but he was born pigeon-toed. I think y'all can see where this is going. At the time, Walden was pretty sick with lead poisoning, but he was healing really well and was quickly regaining strength. The owner of the ducks, we'll call her Duck Lady, had given me the role of their uncle, as I have been with them since the beginning. So I had the important job of always keeping watch on them when she wasn't. One day my mom shouted that there was a large gathering of people at the pond, so I ran to see what was going on. A police officer was slowly approaching Walden while Karen was next to him. The instant I saw that, my heart sunk and slowly moved to the front of the small crowd. The police officer picked up Walden and held him in a baby hold and looked towards the crowd. Is this anyone's duck? Yes, sir. Their name is Walden. What's wrong with the duck? They have lead poisoning. The main owner is giving them treatment from the vet. In the stereotypical Karen voice, I thought it had a broken leg because it was moving weird. The trashy officer then proceeded to swing Walden and hold him upside down by the legs. Poor Walden started trying to get free and Delilah was looking up at the cop and quacking. At this rate, I was shaking with anger and fear, but as a 13-year-old with colored skin, I didn't didn't want to risk anything with this white cop. The Karen then had the audacity to pity my baby because he had such terrible owners. I wanted to say something, but at that point, my skin color wouldn't have given me any leverage over this trashy cop and this Karen. Out of some miracle, one of Duck Lady's children pulled up and practically flew out of their car. "What the frick are you doing? Is this yours?" He swings Walden forward, still holding him by the legs. "Yes, now put him the hell down." The officer then proceeded to drop Walden, and Delilah ran up and did the closest thing to a hug a duck can do. Duck Lady's daughter then came running up from her house with Duck Lady on her phone. After she came, I could hear Duck Lady chewing the trashy officer out, and the phone wasn't even on speaker. When I got home, I collapsed and just kind of cried. It was so stressful. Aftermath, Duck Lady and I both happened to meet at the pond when going to check on Walden. She tells me in no uncertain terms what she would have done to that cop if she was there, and we just laughed the incident off. She thanked me for speaking up and told me that Walden would have most likely been put down. Well, that's my story. Sorry if it isn't the best format-wise. I'm writing this on my phone, and this is my first post on Reddit. Holy frick, I just got an award. I don't know what it means, but thanks a whole bunch to everyone for the thoughtful comments, upvotes. I can't read, guys. And all-around support. Y'all are great. Holy crap, this blew up. I went to bed, and now there are 750 upvotes. I'll update in a bit of time. Everyone's sorry I can't do it right now as I have class. I'll update as soon as I can. Thanks for being so kind and generous, everyone. My nose is so stuffy. Anyway, I'm a big fan of ducks. They're really cute. They're really cool looking. Plus, they make cool sounds. They poop a lot, though. They do. That's something that you should be aware. Family friend. They had some ducks at one point at their hotel, and they were some cool ducks, but they flew away at one point. Never came back. I don't know. My uncle in Pakistan, he has peacocks, and those peacocks had babies. So they have peacocks and little peacock babies. They're so cute. All right, this story's called Brat Cries Because He Doesn't Have a Laptop to Play Games and Then Asks for My Sisters. Hey everybody, a bit of backstory. About a year ago, I went to boarding school. Now this school was expensive, so I have a lot of entitled brat stories. This one is about a guy who didn't have a laptop. In my school, everybody above year 4 got Chromebooks to help with school and stuff. Because of this, 4th graders would brag about playing all these brand new games on their Chromebooks. FYI, you can't play any good games on a Chromebook, and almost every site was blocked by the school. So me and my sister are hanging out when we see this kid crying on the bench. He was pretty small, so I thought he was crying because he missed his parents. So I walk up to him, and this is basically how the conversation goes. Not all of it is fresh in my memory, but most of it is. "Hey, hello guy, what's the matter? You missing your parents?" "No, I'm crying because I want to play games." This guy was crying hard and had a very heavy accent, so I asked him again as I didn't understand. Also, he spoke in Hindi, which I was not very good at. What? At this point, my sister enters, and she has more experience speaking to kids, so then she talks to him and tells me he wants a laptop. "Everybody has a Chromebook. I want to play games on a Chromebook, but I don't have one, so I can't play games. Wow!" Look, playing games on a Chromebook is not important. Look, my sister has a Chromebook, but she doesn't care about games. I was new, so I hadn't gotten a laptop yet. Also, by the way, huge mistake telling that brat my sister has a Chromebook. As soon as he heard that, he asked for her laptop. She said no, and he full-on started bawling, like screaming. Luckily, we were in a pretty loud part of school, as a lot of children were playing sports, so nobody cared about a scream from a kid. And I swear, he screamed for 5 minutes until a teacher finally asks what the hell was happening, and this is how it goes. "What the hell is going on here?" Sister won't give me a Chromebook to play games." "So what? She has every right not to, and you should play sports and stuff with your friends and not care about only laptops." At that moment, the dinner bell rang, so my sister and I left for dinner while the teacher was left telling that guy off. Thanks for reading, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me if you want more brat stories from my boarding school years. Yes, please share. Also, as a kid, I didn't watch it a lot, but I did grow up up around the time of Zoe 101. Yeah. So the idea of going to a boarding school and having a laptop as a kid and all that crap, that was so cool to me. So I can't blame this kid for wanting one. I'd pretty much do the exact same thing. Alright, this story's called Entitled Karen Gets Mad at Me for Not Issuing a Marriage License. Hello everyone, a little bit of background info before we start. I work at a town hall. One of my tasks is issuing marriage licenses when Brovid restrictions ease up like they have. So on to the story. This happened today. I had an appointment to issue a marriage license. I grabbed my mask, sanitized my hands, grabbed the different documents, and head down to one of our 10 by 10 rooms, big enough to have people standing 6 feet apart. Since the town hall doors are locked to avoid walk-ins, I had to meet them at the door. Right away, this Karen had no mask. When I asked her to wear one, she said she was exempt, showing me a screenshot of a US exemption. We're in Canada. We're not allowed to ask for proof, so I just dealt with it and pretend like she never showed me. I didn't ask. I asked her to sanitize her hands. Again, there was refusal. Oh well. So we walk into the room. Our process for marriage license is to have them bring their application, any prior divorce or death certificates, and IDs. I asked if her partner was going to show up. She said yes, so we wait for about 10 minutes. This puts the appointment a little late. We have 30 minutes for each appointment, and I had one in another room right after. Partner arrives, we exchange pleasantries, and we get started. I already checked their IDs and application by email, so I quickly recheck and write the info down on the marriage license. From there, I get into the Brovid questions. 1. Where is your wedding being held? Answer: inside the church at X Street. No big deal, we still allow church weddings if the group is less than 10. 2. Will you be having a reception? If yes, where? Answer: yes, and at X banquet hall. Red flags are sailing, so I asked the third question. 3. How big is the group attending? Answer: all giddy. Well, for my group, there's about 93 guests, and his side, there'll be 80 or so. We have more coming to the reception. I think in total, there'll be 200 people or so. I looked up at her from the license, looked to the guy, then back at her, and explained that I couldn't issue a marriage license with a gathering that large. Indoor has to be less than 10, including the couple and the officiant. Outdoors can be 30, including the 3. Well, Karen immediately flips poo, telling me I'm infringing her right to get married, that the virus is a scam, that it has a 99.9% survival rate, she should be allowed to get married because she's been planning this for 3 months and already paid all the food, etc. I tried to de-escalate, telling her I couldn't do it because it's against the law. I handed her a pamphlet with Brovid safe marriage info and went to walk them out. She's still throwing a tantrum. She demands to speak to my manager, so I call her down. My manager was already busy dealing with other stuff, so she wasn't in the best mood. Karen says I was belligerent, called her names, didn't accept she wouldn't wear a mask, etc. My manager looks at her. Well, why don't I pull up the footage and we can take a look? The Karen flips more dookie, saying the same stuff as before. My manager, being done with this, looks at her and says, no clerk in X city will issue a marriage license because it is against the law. We need to write down how many people will be at the celebration. You then need to have the green paper outside the venue, and an officer may or may not drop in. If we are found to issue a license and there are more people present, you will be fined. The clerk will no longer be present to give licenses, and we will be in a lot of trouble. As you have told the clerk, you have only planned this for 3 months, which means you've had enough time to know it's a pandemic. Because of your attitude to my clerk, we will no longer be accepting any appointments for you or your partner. As far as I'm concerned, you're banned. She then took the application, stamped rejected on it, and took it with her. We ended up having to call security to escort them out the building. Oh, and as for her partner, he did nothing. Literally sat in the chair and did nothing. But at least he wore a mask. Man, it really sucks how many people's marriage plans and I guess other plans were just completely obliterated due to the pandemic. But come on, if it wasn't planned beforehand, then you really shouldn't have that big of a freaking hissy fit over it, because you can wait till it's over. Or, you can just respect that not everyone wants to get really sick. Alright, this story's called That's a Funny Looking Ambulance. Okay, so this is actually an active situation while I type. I've had to take my mom to the hospital for a blood test, and due to the ongoing global situation, I had to drop her at the door, then head back to the car park. Just outside the hospital entrance, there is an area very clearly marked as ambulances only. Now, this isn't the emergency room, but it's for patient transport and transfer, and it's still very much needed. So imagine my surprise when I see a regular car parked there. No signs indicating that it's patient transport, too small anyway, with a couple of kids in the back playing on their phones. Obviously, someone had to just pop into the hospital and didn't want to pay for the car park or to drag the kids with them. I'm sure that many of you are now looking forward to the part where I strike down this entitled person with great vengeance and furious anger. But I'm British and suffer from social anxiety, so I just rolled my eyes, tutted under my breath, and kept walking. Hopefully karma will have more of a spine. Here's hoping, because honestly there's not much you can do there, other than like maybe slashing their tires, but that would just serve to be even more of a nuisance since they can't move their car out of the way of the ambulances.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.